Hey, here we are, chapter 3 in the book of Daniel. Remember yesterday we talked about the world sets up idols, and Nebuchadnezzar set up an idol. He made a big image of gold, and he says, you guys, everybody has to worship me. And right, so the believers aren't going to do this. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they're not going to do it. What I want you to see today is that when we refuse to worship the idols in the world, when we refuse to be like people, the world attacks us and reviles us. And so check it out, verses 8 through 15. Here's what happens in Daniel's story and the story of his friends. Therefore, certain Chaldeans came forward. They're going to Nebuchadnezzar and maliciously accused the Jews. And they said to the Jews, said to Nebuchadnezzar, there are certain Jews that you appointed over the affairs in the provinces of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they do not serve your gods or worship the image that you set up. And so Nebuchadnezzar, in a furious rage, he commanded that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought. So they brought these men before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar said to them, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image that I've set up? Now, if you're ready, well, that's good. But if you do not worship, you will immediately be cast into the burning fiery furnace. And who is the God that will deliver you out of my hands? And so here's what's going on, right? So in chapter 2, we find that Nebuchadnezzar is the head of gold, and so he makes a golden image. And because of this interpretation that Daniel had, Nebuchadnezzar showed Daniel favor, and Daniel said, hey, set my friends up in charge of stuff, just like me. And now they are, and everybody's jealous, right? And so they go to Nebuchadnezzar in maliciousness, and they say, hey, these guys that you put in charge of us, they're not worshiping your God. They're not worshiping your image. And Nebuchadnezzar, he's mad. So what does this look like for us? Well, look, the world's going to tell you to worship those idols. When you refuse, when you stand firm on God's principles and God's ways and God's word, they're going to attack you, and they're going to be malicious towards you, right? So the question then is just to think about when you're reviled and attacked, how do we keep from giving in to the pressures of the world? What are we willing to risk to stay faithful to God?